CN100 presents the high school game of the week. This week's matchup, the Maine South Hawks take on the Wheaton-Warrenville South Tigers for the Illinois Boys Volleyball State Championship. Welcome to Hoffman Estates High School in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, everyone. As we get ready for the state title game between the Hawks and the Tigers, I'm Perry Williams, along with the coach, John Conan. Great to have you with us here on CN100. And the coach, it's all on the line here tonight, the state finals.
It should be a great matchup. Two tremendous teams, and you're right, Perry, this is what they work for, the state championship. These two teams have survived and advanced. Both the teams, though, had to battle to get here. Both had to win some three-game matches. It has not been an easy road, but they're here, and it should be a terrific match.
Okay, let's talk about the teams to start off. Maine South, they won the state championship in 2006. Surprised a lot of people. Many people are surprised they are back here already because they are a young team.
Yeah, had a big upset in the quarterfinals. They knocked off Marist, a great semifinal match earlier this morning against Buffalo Grove. So it's been a tough road. They're a junior-dominated team, young and a surprise, but they've won 17 matches in a row, playing their best volleyball right now.
And 17 straight for Wheaton-Warrenville South, too. The Tigers, the marquee program in the state. They've won the state championship 5 times since 2001. They're after a three-peat.
And no boys volleyball team in state history has won 3 in a row, so they'll try to accomplish that along with their other great records. Unlike Maine South, they're not young. They're senior-dominated. 4 returning starters from their state championship team last year. Battle-tested, tall, big, strong, and they're the favorite tonight.
And let's talk about some of the players you'll see. For Maine South, they have triplets. The Butch brothers are on Maine South, but Eric Butch, a real star.
He really is. We've seen some good twins before, but not triplets. We're going to see that Eric Butch is an outstanding player. You see his stats there. 327 kills, 62 blocks, great defensive player, 137 digs. All 3 of them can play. Eric may be the most explosive of the bunch.
And for the Tigers, boy, you pick your poison when you talk about Wheaton-Warrenville South. They are so talented, but Neil Nystrom, the big fella, 6'10", what a great season he has had again.
What a great career he has had. We watched him as a sophomore, and he was a part-time starter on that state championship team. Last year as a junior, Perry even better, and you see this year his stats. 129 digs, a great defensive player, and look at the kills, 326 at 6 feet 10 inches tall. Neil Nystrom, a dominant force at the net for Wheaton-Warrenville.
Okay, so you have the young Hawks from Maine South taking on the veteran stars of Wheaton-Warrenville South, the Tigers. It's on the line. The championship game starts right after this on CN100.
You're watching the Comcast Network, CN100, Chicago.
Lou Gehrig was an American hero and a genuine baseball legend. He had the power to turn muscle into strength, but ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, had the power to take it away. This fatal neuromuscular illness progressively robs the body of physical abilities, ultimately leading to paralysis and death. You can help strike out ALS by calling the Les Turner ALS Foundation or visit www.lesturnерals.org.
Before you break ground on this season's outdoor home improvement project, stop and call Julie, the joint utility locating information for excavators. By calling Julie 48 hours prior to your project, you can avoid severing important underground lines and causing personal injury. Simply call Julie at 1-800-892-0123 or visit their website at www.illinoisoncall.com. Don't forget, calling Julie is the law in Illinois. Digging responsibly is the only way to dig.
Welcome back to Hoffman Estates High School. The state championship game in boys volleyball on the line. The Maine South Hawks will take on the defending 2-time champion Tigers of Wheaton-Warrenville South. And coverage of tonight's game is brought to you by Comcast, America's leading fiber optic network for TV, phone, and internet. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV. So the Hawks and the Tigers ready to do battle. There's the longtime successful head coach Bill Schreier for the Tigers. Won championships, as we know. They won 5 since 2001, all under head coach Schreier. And there's his counterpart, Gary Grinnell, 12 years at Maine South, 314 wins on a state championship in 06. And he just brings teams together, and they kind of
quietly worked their way through the state tournament. They won a few years back, and they're hoping to get another one here tonight. There's the Hawks. There's the Maine South Hawk team, and as the teams are being introduced. And Rob Samp is one of those Maine South young team. And let's talk about the Tigers, how they got here, going back to the regionals. Those are the games, Coach, you talked about. There were real battles, especially Hinsdale Central and Glenbard East, the team that beat the Tigers twice in the regular season. When it was on the line, the state tournament play, the Rams fell short.
Lost the first game to Glenbard East, so that was a classic matchup. And Hinsdale Central almost got them, too. You get a good look at the great crowd coming out to cheer on both teams. That, of course, the black and orange, and looked like more of the orange of Wheaton Warrenville South and Perry. Maine South had a different route, but equally as difficult. You see they beat Glenbrook South in the regional championship.
In that game, yep.
And then Prospect and Loyola Academy, they lost the first game in both of those. That was their own sectional at Maine South, found a way to come back, and now here at Halpin Estates, they have eliminated two powerhouse teams, and they get a good look at the crowd following the Maine South Hawks.
And quite a semifinal game they had, too, against Buffalo Grove. That third game went to 25-23. Buffalo Grove, by the way, beating St. Pat's in the third place game. Congratulations, St. Pat's, first time here. Our officials, outstanding crew, Terry Narantic and Kathleen Diamond, Darnell Jones, and Mark Favonio. Congratulations, they are our officials for the state championship match. And this gym is packed. Of course, you have a team like Wheaton Warrenville South, a great tradition. They travel well. This is not that far from Park Ridge, home of the Maine South, so they have their loyal fans as well.
2 state championships in a row, and those fans right there decked out in the orange. And head coach Bill Schreier, graduate of Downers Grove South High School, Northern Illinois University. There you see the traditional handshake of the volleyball teams before the game. And if you're new to high school volleyball, you don't want to take too many breaks. This game moves quickly. Each team allowed 2 timeouts per game. 25 points to win. It's rally scoring. Every point counts. And the Maine South Hawks, a team that very few thought would make it to the state championship game, can they pull off the big upset and beat, as you said, Perry, the kings of high school volleyball, the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South?
They have not played during the regular season. They played once in state tournament play. That was in 2005 in the quarterfinals, and the Tigers rallied after dropping the opener, and they beat Maine South in 3 sets. That was a close match, and of course they went on to win yet another state championship. And they beat Barrington that year for the title. And our first serve, and our championship match is underway. And skying high with the kill is Rob Samp, the 6'9 senior. The Tigers get the first point for the state championship match.
Good look at Big Rob there. The assist by a young man we haven't talked about, Joe Kelly, their all-state setter. Maybe the best setter in the state for Wheaton Warrenville South.
And that goes out on the attempted kill by Matt Butch. The 3 Butch brothers, we talked about them. Eric, number 1, John, number 2, and Matt is number 3. Eric and Matt are starters. So 2-0 Tigers. Now to the outside. And the Tigers reset back to the far end on a nice dig by South. And perfect placement at the net. Spencer Grossel.
Yep, Grossel, the sophomore. The Hawk fans get the cheer for the first time, and a beautiful block by Matt Butch. And the strength is a good matchup because the strength of the Maine South team, Perry, is their defense at the net. They're not real big, but their timing, they block shots tremendously. And, of course, the strength of the Tigers is their power game at the net. So it's going to be fun to watch that matchup.
The serve by John Butch, but then there's the big hit by Nystrom. So it's 3-1 Tigers and Nystrom serving.
Young man we featured on the open of the program, having a great senior year, made the all-state team.
And the violation underneath, and the point will go to the Tigers. As look at some of the fans. If you're new to volleyball on the high school level in Illinois, it is growing and it is exciting and fun. And a nice kill at the net. Matt Butch. And he will serve.
Good look at the replay here. Big point for Maine South. One of the three Butch brothers coming up with the big hit. 1992 was the first state tournament, so it hasn't been around that long. Boys volleyball, relatively anyways. Still a fairly new sport.
And long on that hit effort by Mueller. Another point for the Hawks. We talked about that 2006 championship team at Maine South. Underdogs almost the whole way. They came in loosey-goosey against the top-ranked team, Naperville North, and then put them away in straight sets.
Naperville North undefeated at that time. The star of that team was Teddy Adamczyk for Maine South. He went on to play at UCLA. I think he's going to transfer to Loyola. His brother, Scotty Adamczyk, is a freshman on the varsity for the Maine South team, so that lineage continues.
Yeah, nice visit with his mother, Jill, and father, Scott, came over. Steve, I guess it was. I can't remember. And they have other youngsters, but the Adamczyks certainly a big volleyball family as the league continues to grow for the Tigers, and serving is Rob Samp. There's a little jump serve. And now, nice double block at the net. They reset. Here's Butch again. And Eric Butch puts the hammer down. A point for Maine South.
Yep, at first you don't succeed. Keep on hitting, says Eric Butch. Nice block by Whittingham right off the bat, but they come back at it again. Watch on the replay. CN 100 camera crew right there to catch a nice point for Maine South. They battle back at 6-4.
Now to the outside. And the block at the net. We talked about it. Great effort there, Evan Bowler.
6'4" tall, a junior, one of their most improved players. Good look there at Angel Skorteski, the junior. And boy, we've seen this before, Perry.
Yep.
If you're going to beat a top-ranked team like Wheaton-Warrenville South,
You got to get that ball in play.
you have to limit your unforced errors. I'm not saying you can't have any, but you really have to limit them. You can't give them easy points. Again, rally scoring, every point counts. So the missed serve not only gives the other team service, but point for the Tigers. Big hit.
Another big hit. Yep.
That's our guy, Kevin Mueller, his second kill of the game. Kevin Mueller always coming up with big games in front of the CN 100 camera crews. Senior, headed to the Miami University in Ohio.
And back out to Eric Butch. Deflected there by Kelly. Kelly now will set for Mueller.
Nice cover.
Now back to the outside, Eric Butch. And the point for Maine South.
Nice defensive cover by the freshman Scotty Adamczyk, getting some PT here in a state championship game. You get a look at the Maine South bench. Both teams pretty deep. They'll go 3-4 deep on their bench. Good look on the replay right there. Boy, I think it's key early for Maine South to show that they can play with them, because there is an aura, I would think, about Wheaton-Warrenville South, not a high school boys volleyball players. These 2 state championships. There's Bill Schreier, the captain of that aura, if you will. And good look at the senior, Kevin Mueller, 3-year starter. Can he get a third ring? Rob Samp, Neil Nystrom, Joe Kelly, they were all big parts of that team 2 years ago. They were all starters last year in state championship. They'd love to finish out their senior year with a 3rd state championship.
And that is a big spike by Evan Bowler.
Yep. He is one of the most improved players. A little bit of a surprise this year. They knew Evan Bowler would be good. They didn't know he'd be this good. You see the big kid getting up there, 6'4" tall, and he hammered it down. Bowler, only a junior also.
Kelly sets now for Nystrom. Double block at the net. Back for Maine South now, an opportunity. The back set to Butch. And it's a point for the Hawks.
And when you talk about the back set, that's the spike from the back row. Now, folks watching new to volleyball, you can spike from the back row, you can take off, but you must go beyond the blue line. Take off behind the spiking line, if you will, from the back row.
Oh, another unforced error on that service. So Tigers lead at 10-8, game 1. Best 2 out of 3. Eric Wilkins long on that serve.
Well, that's the one
the
thing
Tigers give one back.
We've noticed over the years, Perry, about Wheaton-Warrenville South. See the Maine South fans enjoying it so far, but they rarely make mistakes. They really make you earn the point, and that's been one of the traditions over their state championship years.
Mike Haza serving for South. And Nystrom has it blocked at the net. doing the honors, Ryan Tunney and Matt Butch.
Yep, the two of them were there, a little double block. We talked about the strength of Maine South's team, their great timing and great at the net defense, and it has shown through, and it's keeping Wheaton Warrenville South a little bit back on their heels early in this first game.
And ties it at 10. They get it back over now. Maine South trying to take the lead, and they do! At the net, Matt Butch with the kill.
Oh, they're feeling it now, Maine South. Nice little setup there by Ryan Tunney, number 11, but the Hawks got down early and have fought back, taking the lead. In volleyball, Perry, is a game of momentum, and right now, on behalf of the Hawks.
IHSA serving, and now another block of the net, wow. Matt Butch.
They don't get any better than that, folks, and he did it against the Division I recruit, Rob Samp, going to Indiana-Purdue. Fort Worth, and that it does not happen very often. Samp gets it put right back at him. What a block by Butch.
Hawks lead it 12-10, game on.
That was power against defense right there, and the defense wins.
And an ace.
Bill Schreier might want to call a timeout. Maine South up 13-10 and on quite a run.
Eric Butch and company. This is IHSA, continues to serve.
He's their setter, Mike IHSA.
And Mueller gets it back over for the Tigers. A little finesse play.
Nice cover up.
Yep. Opportunity here for the Tigers. Now they knock it back over. They set it up and they whistle. Double hit. That ends a 5-0 run for Maine South.
Good look there at the All-Stater, their team captain, their team leader, Joe Kelly. He was a sophomore starter as a setter on their state championship team. Perry, in his 3 years in the varsity, he has known nothing but success, and he's got one game left to finish out what probably would be considered one of the great high school volleyball careers in the 17-year history.
And the putback at the net by Matt Butch, the sixth-grade junior, second team by the All-State, by the All-Area, by the Sun-Times.
May be a surprise to get here, Perry, but this Maine South team is coming to play against the kings of high school volleyball. The Hawks taking it to Maine, taking it to Wheaton Warrenville, rather, and they're doing it with their defense.
Now Kelly with the set, but put back. Now to the outside. Eric Butch, double hit. And ran out of territory that time.
You know, it was kind of funny. You mentioned the Sun-Times all-area team. They listed Matt Butch on the second team, all-state team, and it was actually a mistake. It was his brother, Eric, that was supposed to make the team. I'm sure they'll do a retraction, but the bottom line is both the brothers can play.
Well, talk about timing. That's Eric Butch. His third kill of the match.
Boy. Maine South, you wonder if they'd be tired from that three-game match in the semifinals at 11 o'clock. They don't appear tired right now. Great defensive attempt by Joe Kelly, but another point for the Hawks.
Mueller. Great shot by Mueller. Perfect placement.
Yeah, that's what might be what Wheaton Warrenville South has to do. Watch on the replay. You got to mix up your power game, but against Maine South's blocking, you got to find the open spots. Nice job by Mueller there as he soft touched it into the soft spot of the Maine South defense.
The big hit that time by Tunney, the senior. They only have 3 seniors on the roster, and Tunney is one. He had 49 kills in the regular season.
Not often, Perry, not often here at Hoffman Estates anyways, where they play their best volleyball, have we seen Wheaton Warrenville South back on their heels. That's the case right now, down 16-13.
Set it back outside again to Eric Butch. Nice save and dig by Mueller. Now Mueller's got to hit it back
nice
over.
Play.
He does.
What a great hit by Mueller.
Block at the net. Nice job that time by Whittington.
Excellent defensive player.
Another point.
He's very underrated. Neil Whittington, number 23, a senior. He's been around for those state championship years. Nice defensive block. He's one of their team captains also.
Yeah, that front line of Samp and Nystrom and Whittington. Long on the service. 3-point lead for the Hawks. Here in game one.
Okay, good look there. Eric Butch, the All-Stater for Maine South. All 3 of the Butch brothers played on the state championship Maine South volleyball team too, or a football team. So they've all won a ring this year. Can they get 2 in one school year? Wouldn't be bad. Of course, David and Sarah's football state champs from Maine South.
Service was long, so the Tigers get it back. And another block of the net, and there's Neil Nystrom for you.
Yep, back row hit by Butch, but you had Nystrom and Whittington. That's 6'10 and 6'7 staring at you. The height of Wheaton-Warrenville South is intimidating.
Adam check. Now back to the outside. Now the Hawks with a chance here, a little misdirection. But Kelly now with a set to the back row. Mueller, Adam check. Now Butch, and it's hit, but it is out. Ties it up at 17, so the Tigers have regrouped here, and they are serving now to take the lead.
That was the best point of the match. Good rally, nice plays, good defense, nice hits by both teams. 17-17, game one state championship match. A lot of pressure on these young men.
Now that's perfect setup for Bowler.
Evan Bowler, when he hits it, he does it with authority. You see the good look at the Maine South fan. Look at Bowler just pound it down. No chance for Kevin Mueller and company on the defensive play.
Bowler serving. And a little play at the net. And yes, it was underneath. The Hawks have had a few of those where they went underneath the net and were caught.
Good look
it's a little more obvious.
Eric Wilkins right there, who had to step in and fill in the starter's role for Brian Williams, the graduated libero from last year.
But from the outside, Spencer Grossel, his second kill of the match.
Haven't talked about him much. Bill Schreier shouting some instructions out to his ball club. Spencer Grossel, only a sophomore, so he'll join all those juniors coming back next year, and he's had a great sophomore year, has Grossel.
Hazer with a tough serve now, coming back the other way, and it's Nystrom for you. He just put the hammer down, the big point for the 6'10 senior.
Had 327 kills in the regular season, and he's had a dominant state tournament thus far. Wheaton-Warrenville South knocking off Nequa Valley in the quarterfinals, and then this afternoon beating St. Patrick's. They haven't lost a game here yet at Hoffman Estates. Nice save.
Now here's Nystrom, and it is gone out.
Yep.
Nice, actually, play defensively to let it go. So Maine South regains the lead. 2019, a good first game of the 2009 state championship. John Butch will be serving.
Coming off the bench, the third of the twins, Johnny Butch.
Now they set back to the other side. And the spike once again by Nystrom, his third.
Yep, there's a big look at Neil. He's going to University of Texas and Austin next year. Going to play some club volleyball, not play on the D1 team, but well, what a senior year he's had.
Eric Butch. Point for the Hawks.
None of the Butches are committed to college yet. Of course, they're only juniors. I would imagine the recruitment will pick up, but boy, not bad if you're a recruiter, huh?
Not bad if you're the parents to pick them up after practice either. You get one trip, you pick all three of them.
You got a handmade carpool right there.
Matt Butch serving. And the block at the net by Eric Butch.
22-20, Maine South feeling it. Now keep in mind, timeout, Wheaton-Warrenville South. Both these teams along the way have lost game ones and still come back. So there'll be no panic for either of these two teams. Watching the replay. Look at him get up and the defensive block. Great look from our camera crew. The hit by Eric Lurson, the outstanding sophomore. Boy, how about Maine South's blocking at the net, Perry?
Outstanding. That was their strength. Timeouts in volleyball are 1 minute duration. Here's what they did in the regular season. Last year, 25-11. And they were knocked out by Glenbrook North in the sectional semifinals last year. Won that state championship game, which we talked about over Naperville North in 06.
Good look at Bill Schreier, Wheaton-Warrenville South. They won last year's state championship game, defeating Buffalo Grove. And how about BG the Bison? You mentioned they won the third place game. Their coach Matt Ayala leading them back once again.
And congratulations to St. Patrick.
Wow.
First time in the state tournament.
Not only got here, but they won a big quarterfinal game and gave Buffalo Grove a great run in the third place game.
Mueller,
by the way,
with the kill.
You are aware of the star player for St. Pat's, the first team All-Stater?
Yes, I am.
By the name of John Cohen.
No
Now,
relation.
he spells his name the wrong way, but he's a tremendous volleyball player.
Another look at it.
Kevin Mueller getting it done once again. 22-21, big serve.
Here's Robbie Samp.
Puts it in play.
Again to the outside, and Eric Butch. Boy, that is the spot for Butch to set him up in the outside spot. 5 kills for Eric.
You got a double hit against him. 5 kills already. They're going to Eric Butch early and often here in game number 1, and you could see he pounds it down. But they did not get the point.
Nope.
Wow.
Now tied at 22.
Might have hit the net.
A little finesse play now. The Tigers with an opportunity. Mueller. And now the Tigers have turned the tail.
Boy, Kevin
And a
Mueller.
timeout for Maine South.
That was a big call, Perry. The point before on Butch's spike, because Maine South had the momentum, would have put him up by 2 points, only a couple away from the win. Let's look at the replay of the last point. Watch Kevin Mueller get up. Little cross-court spike away from the libero.
Well, Kevin Mueller is one of those players. We talk so much about Joe Kelly and the stars in the front line, but Mueller is one of those lunch bucket players that comes and gives you solid effort each and every game. There you see what they have done over the years. A couple of those, Coach, were undefeated seasons. In the 2001, 38-0, and then in 04, they were 41-0.
It's an amazing record. 11 straight regional titles for Coach Schreier, Wheaton Warrenville South. 7 sectional titles. They've been in the Elite 8. 8 out of the last 9 years. DBC champions 6 of the last 8 years. I mean, just an amazing streak of successful volleyball over the years, and some great players that have played on their teams.
Even in 03, they lost in the quarters to Glumberg South, the eventual champion, who had the great Sam Kim. But now, the Tigers are 1 point away from rallying and taking game 1 of this match.
And you really got the feeling that Maine South had the momentum here in this first game and played, if I could say this, almost played better, but somehow Wheaton Warrenville South 1 point away from wrapping up game 1.
Here's the serve by Samp. Now the set to Eric Butch. And they stay alive and have the service and a chance to tie.
Got to put the serve in play here and let your blocking game go to work. And they're bringing in, looks like they're off the bench server, number 14 for the Hawks. He comes in, Angel Skorteski, a junior. A lot of pressure on Angel. Put it in play.
And he does. Now they do get it back over. A chance, though, for Maine South on the set to Butch.
What a save.
Great save by Kelly. Now Maine South will have to do it all over again. Once again to Eric Butch. And the block at the net by Eric Larson. Game 1 goes to the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South. 25-23.
Eric Butch, they went to him again and again. Even on that point, you'll see the handshakes between. You saw the tail end of it. Eric Larson, the sophomore, with a big defensive play. And a great game 1.
Back with our boys volleyball state championship after this on CN100.
You're watching the Comcast Network, CN100, Chicago.
Jane goes to school from 7:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then must go to softball practice from 3:45 to 6 p.m., followed by jazz practice from 6:30 to 9 p.m. What are you doing between 3:45 and 9?
A recent survey of Fortune 500 executives showed that 95% participated in activities while in high school. So don't just go to school, go beyond with the IHSA.
The Illinois High School Association. Challenge yourself.
Welcome back to Hoffman Estates High School, and the Tigers, even the young Tigers are here, of Wheaton Warrenville South, victorious in game 1, 25-23 at the boys volleyball state championship, ending a couple of days of wild volleyball action. I'm Perry Williams, along with Coach John Cohn, and what a game 1 we had. As the early going, it looked like the Tigers might blow out the Hawks, but the Hawks came back. They had the lead and advantage, and then the Tigers rallied late, and they took that opening game best 2 out of 3.
Well, we were talking about it during the break too, Perry. Maine South had a 22-21 in Eric Butch. It looked like Kill made it 23-21. A lot of momentum for the Hawks, but they called a violation. tied up the score, and Wheaton Warrenville South went on from there. That was kind of the momentum turner in game one. Nice block.
And a block at the net by Robbie Samp. 2-0 to start game two. And Joe Kelly doing it from the service line, and his teammates at the net.
A couple of elite 18 and under players on that elite club volleyball team. Samp and Joe Kelly both on that outstanding club team, 18 and under. Most of these guys all club volleyball players, a lot of them from Wheaton Warrenville South on Sports Performance.
And there's Eric Butch, that back set we talked about.
Back row spike from Eric Butch. Boy, is he a dominant player. Rolling Thunder is his club team that he plays for. Some of the other guys play on the D1 club team. Look at Eric Butch take up from the back row. Reminds us a little bit of Sam Kim from Glenbrook South, who was probably the best back row spiker that we saw. But Butch is explosive.
And a carry, so the Hawks have come back to tie game two at 2.
The last couple of years we've been here, Wheaton Warrenville South has won 2 straight fairly easily in the state championship. New Trier 2 years ago, Buffalo Grove last year. Let's see if Maine South can take them to game 3.
And inspired play at the net, Rob Samp.
Yep. Eric Larson up there too, the sophomore. Good look at Rob right there, headed to Indiana University Fort Worth, going to play some D1 volleyball.
Eric Butch with the big kill at the net, ties it at 3.
Eric Butch is like everywhere. I mean, there's like 3 number ones on the court. Clearly the offense is designed to get the ball to him, and obviously Wheaton Warrenville South's defense, you got to know where he is and double block against him.
Now Mueller. And it's out. Point for South. Great effort by the Hawks. Well, Burns there, you hear the squeak of the floor, but
there's a look at the great effort. 4 of the 6 players on the floor diving on the ground, diving on the floor for that ball. That's the kind of effort that not only in the state championship game that have made these teams so successful all year.
Boy, that's the big putback you want. Whittington, that was just teed up for Neil.
Neil Whittington there, good look at him right there, the senior. Not only a great defensive player, he's capable of making some kills up in the front row. One of their team captains and team leaders, Mr. Whittington.
And now they have a little misdirection that time by Butch. Now Kelly gets it over.
Violation that time. They went away from Eric Butch. Good strategy. Mix up your offense. They tried to set up Brian Tunney, but violation of Rob Samp and company. Get the ball back and the serve.
Big point, because now it's a 3-point advantage for the Tigers.
A set by Hazen.
But Kelly able to save. Knocking it back over is Ebergini. And Butch just inside the line is good with that kill. His 6th of the match.
One-man offensive machine right now for Maine South. Nicely done. Get a look at the replay. One guy we haven't talked about is libero. You see him number 10 there on the defensive side. Matt Schuler, he's the team captain and the leader for Maine South. One of the few seniors on the team, but Matt Schuler, big part of their success.
Mueller.
And the libero, of course, the designated defensive player for each team.
And there's the big double team by Lurson.
Eric
Nystrom.
Lurson, only a sophomore, Perry. 3 sisters and 1 brother that have played at Wheaton Warrenville South. He is the 5th of the Lursons to play.
For the that team with John Tanner and John Lurson.
Yep. John's playing at Ohio State now. His sister Anna playing at University of Illinois. Went to Connecticut her first 2 years.
Eric Butch blocking that. Kelly is there. Nice dig that time by John Butch. Back to Eric now. Dig by Mueller. And carry that time they call it. So point for the Hawks.
You know what the amazing thing is too? You look at the heights of some of these players and the athleticism. 6'7", 6'9", 6'10", 6'3", 6'4". For Wheaton Warrenville South, none of them are basketball players.
Yeah.
These guys are volleyball players. Only Spencer Grossel, a sophomore starter for Maine South, also plays basketball, but he's the only one. If I'm the basketball coach, I'm not too happy about that.
Yep.
But boy, these guys work at it the club volleyball season. Good
Extra
shot there.
hit that time, and The Tigers continue to serve, and Mueller.
And that's Joe Kelly, too, on a misdirect. He is so good, not only setting up his teammates, but we've seen him do it before, that little misdirection play just to keep the defense off balance.
He's a coach on the court.
Headed to St. Louis University. He'll play some D1 volleyball next year.
Yeah, and he's going to be some coaching, too, Coach. Some of the women's volleyball team, I read, is going to help coach at St. Louis.
You know what? He's a coach on the floor. Why not? He might as well be a coach off the floor, too. And if you're going to coach, you might as well coach the women's team. He's not a dumb guy.
9-5, the Tigers pulling away a little bit here in game 2. A long way to go.
Perry, you mentioned
Maine South.
Busy schedules for these teams. How about Maine South? Had a run through starting last night. They had a quarterfinal game. Friday night at 6 o'clock. Immediately following that, they race home. Maine South prom was last night.
Oh, well.
Now we're not done yet because they happened to win the quarterfinal game. They got to come home from prom. I'm sure they were all back home by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right?
Maybe even sooner.
11 o'clock game this morning, so they probably had to get on the bus about 8:30 to get over here. They have a big 3-set match against Buffalo Grove. They're playing the state championship tonight, and for the seniors, graduation on Monday night.
Yeah.
That's not a bad weekend.
Nope, busy crew, and he had a good look earlier. The award-winning Hoffman Estates pep band, and they do a great job each and every year entertaining the fans here during the state tournament. Now they have to set back, and Grossel gets it over. Now Kelly with a set. Oh, a big dig by Schuler. Now the set.
Back row.
And just long.
Close. Great defensive play by Matt Schuler to keep the play alive. The Tiger fans cheering. Watch on the replay. Back row spike just missed. You got your line judge. You see him make the call right there. Boy, is he explosive, though, from the back row.
Here he is again. Now the Hawks will set it up to the other side. Grossel with a hit, and it's deflected out, so a point for Maine South.
Tough break for the sophomore. You had Joe Kelly and Neil Whittington up there on the defense. Good look at Spencer right there. Well, that was Evan Bowler, number 4, but Grosso on the hit just hit it a little bit too long.
Oh, it's deflected out, though, so they get the point.
Oh, okay.
And the block of the net by Matt Butch.
He may not have the offensive firepower of Eric, his brother, but I'll tell you what, Matt Butch at the net, third block, and his timing, he's only about 6'3". A good jumper, but his timing is just perfect at the net. Great defensive play.
Yeah, they're all 6'3". Oh, into the net, though. The service by Bowler. So it's 11-7.
Yeah,
Tigers, they took game 1, best 2 out of 3.
Maine South really not that big. They beat Marist in the quarterfinal match. Joe Schmalzer, the All-Stater, 6 feet 8 inches tall. And Marist was expected to play Wheaton Warrenville South.
And that is just inside the line for the point. Yeah, Schmalzer going to go to Loyola as well.
Yep.
We talked about the Teddy Amachek going there.
I think a lot of people, you get a good look at the fans, and that's a special fan. That's David and Sarah, the head football coach, coming out and cheering on the volleyball troops. We mentioned the Butch brothers, John, Matt, and Eric all played football for Coach and Sarah.
Congratulations, Coach and Sarah. The ball club had those 3 straight
second place years.
Yes, in overtime defeats, tough losses. Great program, and this year they won it all.
Tell you, Maine South had another state champ this spring we'll talk about in a little bit, too. A young man who came out of nowhere to win in track and field.
He said he wanted just to stay close. And there you see at the net. What a game Nystrom is having.
Yep. Trying to complete a brilliant high school career. Neil Nystrom headed to the University of Texas, Austin next year. He plays for Sports Performance Volleyball Club, his 5th kill of the game, 6 feet 10 inches tall.
Kelly serving.
Set Spencer Grosso, the sophomore, that time, and he hit it out. The youngster showing a little bit of nerves, and for Maine South, Perry, if they're going to win, they're going to need offense from somebody besides Eric Butch. One guy alone, as good as Eric is, cannot beat the Tigers.
There at the net is Nystrom again. Maine South a little bit rattled here in game 2, Coach. 15-8.
Spencer Grosso, the sophomore, hasn't played the club volleyball that some of these other guys has. A 3-sport star. He's a golfer and a basketball player, but a couple tough points there for Spencer.
Wilkins. Now, Nystrom, but double hit that time. So point for Maine South. Hawks trying to get back into it with the service.
Yeah, we mentioned Maine South. They have come back before in their sectional opener against Prospect. They lost their first game, battled back in the sectional championship against Loyola. Lost their first game and had to battle back in a thrilling sectional championship. But now they got to do it against Wheaton-Warrenville South.
But that's going to get it done when you have Nystrom. Perfect set to Neal, and he just put the hammer down again.
You know, and he does it almost in an undramatic way. You know,
right.
He doesn't jump quite as high as some of the other guys, but boy, his spikes, they may not be as loud, but they are as effective. Nice
and
block.
there at the net, a putback, another block. Eric Larson, the sophomore, his third of the match.
Young man who had the block to save the game. Timeout for Maine South. Wheaton-Warrenville South could be on their way to a third consecutive. Eric Larson, only a sophomore, the star of the future. We mentioned 5 or 4 of his siblings have played volleyball. Wheaton-Warrenville South. He plays on the football team, too. He plays for that very good Tiger football team. Good look at Coach Bill Schreier there, graduate of Northern Illinois University. Played his high school volleyball at Downers Grove South.
Folks, we start with highlights from across the Chicago area, mixing in interviews with coaches, players, and fans, and Sports Weekly comes to life. Join me every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 6:30 right here in CN 100, the week's most comprehensive high school sports coverage in Chicagoland.
How about some of the spring sports this year? It's been a great season for the spring sports. There's a girls soccer championship going on tonight, matter of fact, between Fremd and Hinsdale Central. Wheaton Academy taking on Lamont. Hinsdale Central winning a great tennis championship by 1 point over Stevenson. Good look on the replay there. Rob Sam putting it away. That was Maine South.
And Butch with the serve. Now they'll set back again. Little finesse, and they call the double hit. Or the violation, rather, so another point for the Hawks.
And coming out of the timeout, little momentum for Maine South. Nice timeout by Gary Grinnell. Coach Grinnell played his college volleyball at Ball State, was an excellent player there. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it hit that.
That hurts.
If it hits the net, it's one thing, but
not the antenna.
Not the antenna.
Hits the net, you can play it on a serve here. Narrow the lead to 6 points, get a little momentum going, the missed serve.
Tell us about that young man who ran.
For Maine South, Ryan Lynn in boys track and field in the 800. And you see another point for Wheaton-Warrenville South. The pair, he was unranked.
Nope, they're going to give that one to the Hawks.
Okay. Big point, 18-12, but Ryan Lynn came out of nowhere. Made the final 6 qualifying and passed up 2 of the favorites, including Jeff Tody from Conant. Surprised everybody and brought home a first-place gold medal in the track and field. Ryan Lynn, a senior for Maine South.
Outstanding dig that time by Schuler. Now the Tigers will set to Mueller. And the point is for the Tigers. Boy, that was close. Right around that line.
You know, Bill Schreier has trained his team very well. Good look on the replay there. Perfect look on the replay. Any part of the ball touches the line, it's good. And you can see on the replay there.
A rare service error by the Tigers, who are 6 points away from another state championship.
Notice how Coach Schreier has his whole team on close plays, jump up and applaud the play, trying to persuade the referees on a tight call. Of course, these are the best of the best in officiating, so they're not going to get persuaded.
Look at that serve by Butch. Now, Mueller! Perfect placement by Eric. For Kevin, check that.
After the match, by the way, the 8th kill for Kevin Mueller. We'll have the trophy presentation, the medals for both teams, and we'll have a interview with our CN 100 player of the game postgame. Nice hit.
Big time hit by Grossel, the sophomore.
That's what they need. Somebody else to get on track. Good look from Spencer. He's been a real surprise this year. They played a little freshman JV ball as a freshman, and all of a sudden this year becomes a varsity starter. Boy, you look at Maine South next year, and this year is not done yet, Perry, but the Butch brothers coming back. Setter Mike Hayes, an outstanding setter. We haven't talked about him much. Spencer Grosso coming back.
Bowler into the net.
And Evan Bowler coming back.
And you have the freshman, Adamczyk.
Yep, I'm sure he'll step into a key role next year, but right now the situation at hand, big service for Mr. Wilkins.
And boy, Maine South is just digging their hole deeper and deeper now. 3 points away from the state title are the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South.
A lot of that energy and enthusiasm. We mentioned volleyball, game of momentum, and right now, Maine South completely out of their game. They've had a miracle run, an amazing run, 17 wins in a row, some dramatic victories, but it appears, Perry, the balloon might be deflated right now. I don't know if they got it left. Wheaton Warrenville South 2 points away from wrapping it up.
And Eric Wilkins will be serving. The libero.
He's only a junior.
And at the net, there's Rob Samp.
Gary Grinnell, I don't even think he's going to call that second timeout. I think he knows the result is imminent. Let's see how long Maine South can hold on.
This is state championship point for the Tigers.
Third in a row if they get it. And they got it.
And they got it, the state champions. Once again, the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South in straight games against the young, impressive Hawks of Maine South. 25-23, 25-14. 2009, once again, belongs to the Tigers, the three-peat, their sixth state championship since 2001.
First team ever in the 17-year history of the tournament to get it done 3 years in a row. Perry, we've watched them. Over the years, nobody gets their team ready for tournament time like Bill Schreier.
Back with our awards presentation right after this on CN100.
You're watching the Comcast Network, CN100, Chicago.
And the winner of this year's spelling bee
for correctly spelling the word obnoxious,
Phyllis Strackley.
We got a winner here! C-H-U-M-P-S. What's that spell? Chumps. Who's your mama now, baby?
Welcome back, everybody, to Hoffman Estates High School. The awards presentation is underway for the runner-up 2009 Maine South. The Hawks defeated by the now three-time defending champion Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South. And there's Eric Butch, John Butch. These are the Hawks, young Hawks, and then Matt Butch be coming up. The triplets, all 6'3", all juniors. And now let's listen in for the award ceremony. 2009 runner-up, the Hawks of Maine South.
Number 4, Evan Bowler. Number 5, Andrew Sheehan. Number 6, Mike Haja. Number 7, Martin Sullivan. Number 8, Yanni Marcos. Number 9, Tim Warnock. Number 10, Matt Schuler. Number 11, Ryan Tunney. Number 13, Spencer Grosso. Number 14, Angel Skorteski. Number 15, Scotty Adamczyk. The trainer for Maine South High School, Jerry Bornhoff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South, who finished this season, the 2008-2009 season, in first place. The superintendent of schools is Dr. Richard Drury. The principal, Dr. Dawn Schneider. The athletic director is Robert Quinn. Head boys volleyball coach Bill Schreier. Assistant coach John Burlace. Assistant coach John Tanner.
Of course, remember John Tanner from his championship days with the Tigers.
Yeah, they've had so many
assistant coach Michelle
great players play over the
Schaefer.
years. Michelle's the head junior varsity coach for the team. Had another successful year.
And assistant coach Steve Justice.
Great program, and certainly missed him a little bit, but for Maine South, Gary Grinnell earlier, leading his troops to second place, but these are the champions.
Now let's
09.
meet the players. Number 3, David Ladoni. Number 4, Joe Kelly.
Sophomore starter on their state championship team. He gets his third
Number
state championship
5,
medal.
Kevin Mueller.
Kevin was also on that
Some great
07
players
team.
over there. Doug Burchett, remember
Number
him too.
6, Bodie Abergeni. Number 7, Jay Hillman.
Great players over the years at the Tigers. Of course, they have the
Number
U.S.
8,
Olympian.
Dave Priest.
Sean Rooney won a gold medal at the Olympics last August, and a Maine South grad, Tom Hoff, also on that championship team. So
Number
both teams
12, Matt Wilkins.
have also produced Olympic champions this past summer in Beijing.
Number 14, Eric Wilkins. Number 15, Eric Lerson.
The sophomore, they'll be looking to him next year, 6'5".
Number 18,
He
Vince Kenya.
Played for him as a freshman, so he's going to have a 4-year career before it's over.
Number 21, Rob Samp.
Well, remember this front line when they were sophomores, Coach. 6'9", 6'10", 6'7".
Number 22, Neil Nystrom.
Outstanding championship match.
Number
for Nystrom.
23, Neil Whittington.
Unsung hero for Wheaton Warrenville South. Neil Whittington doesn't get quite the stats
The
as the other
trainer
guys.
for Wheaton
He's a
Warrenville South
big part
is
of their
Matt
success.
Marzullo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would turn your attention to the championship trophies. And will Coach Gary Grinnell and the members of the Hawks of Maine South High School please step forward to receive their second place trophy.
Well, congratulations to Maine South. Great season, young team, great fan support with the students and the parents. Even Teddy Amacek
Ladies and
has
gentlemen, these are the
been watching
Hawks
from the West Coast.
Maine South, the IHSA State Boys Volleyball Finals runner-ups.
They finished the year 35-7, second place in the state of Illinois. Now here is the hardware for the champion, 6-time
And
since
now
2001,
will Coach Bill
third in a row.
Schreier and the members of the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South please come forward to accept the championship trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South the Illinois High School Association State Boys Volleyball Champions. Congratulations to both teams.
Indeed, the Hawks and the Tigers, a real battle here tonight. But once again, for the third year in a row, 6 since 2001, the Tigers victorious. Back with our CN100 Player of the Game interview right after this.
You're watching the Comcast Network, CN100 Chicago.
Before you break ground on this season's outdoor home improvement project, stop and call Julie, the joint utility locating information for excavators. By calling Julie 48 hours prior to your project, you can avoid severing important underground lines and causing personal injury. Simply call Julie at 1-800-892-0123 or visit their website at www.illinoisoncall.com. Don't forget, calling Julie is the law in Illinois. Digging responsibly is the only way to dig.
Welcome back to Hoffman Estates High School as the 2009 boys volleyball tournament is in the books. And for the 6th time since 2001, the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South victorious, knocking off Maine South. Let's go courtside, join the coach, John Cohn, standing by with our CN100 players of the game.
All right, thanks, Perry. We are courtside with the players of the game for CN100. Neil Nystrom to my left and Kevin Mueller to my right. 3-time state champions. They got it done. We'll go to Kevin first. And Kevin, I'm not going to ask you if it gets old because I know it never does. But I will ask you this year. I know you guys struggled early. It was not an easy season, but it came about. How did you guys fight through the difficulty and win yet another state championship?
No, we knew we had a very talented team going into the season. We knew that we had all the pieces. We just had to put them together, make everyone fit together and flow together. And I think at the end of the season, we started to get it on a roll. And as playoffs came, we had some tough matches, but we bonded together throughout the year, and we were able to pull it together when it really mattered.
And tonight against a very good Maine South team, they had you going a little bit in game one. I thought they had you back on your heels a little bit. You turned it around. What was the key?
Experience was definitely a factor. I mean, 5 of our guys started in the state championship last year, so I think we knew what to do. We knew how to handle ourselves when that situation came about, and we were able to do it.
And Kevin, you've always played the game. We've watched you play for 3 years with passion and joy in the game. It's been a pleasure watching you play over the years.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And Neil Nystrom, another tremendous game. The All-Stater here, senior, headed to University of Texas. And we watch you improve each and every year. What's been the key? Talk about some of the stuff you do in the offseason.
I mean, it comes back to club. It helps a lot just in the offseason, keep repetitions and stuff going. It's throughout the summer as well. So you have a break, and then you can start up again. So, I mean, just keeping in shape has always been a problem for me, and I've actually lost some weight since sophomore year, so that's helped pretty much all areas of my game. And, it really comes down to the fact that this is a great experience, and having it with the same 5 guys that have been on it since our sophomore year, it's just a good culmination to the end of high school and a great volleyball run.
Say you and Kevin are like best buddies. It's great to win it with a team so close, huh?
Yeah, I've been on a club team together for 3 years. Been on a high school team together for 3 years, and freshman for a year. So, I mean, we've done a lot of volleyball together, and I love experiencing it with people who've gone through the same things I have.
Going to a nice small school next year, University of Texas. What, about 50,000 students? Going to play some volleyball there?
Yeah, I think I might join the club team or help out the women's team. It's just a matter of time until I decide what I want to do.
Beautiful. 3-time state champs, Neil Nystrom, Kevin Mueller, tremendous performance. Wheaton Warrenville South does it again. Congratulations, guys. Back up to Perry.
All right, thanks very much. Congratulations to the Tigers. Head coach Bill Schreier. Outstanding young men as well, and well-spoken indeed as they are victorious in 2009. 6 overall, as we talked about. Coverage of tonight's game, by the way, was brought to you by Comcast, America's leading fiber optic network for TV, phone, and internet. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV. Well, that about wrap things up for us here at Hoffman Estates in the 2009 Boys Volleyball State Championship. It goes to Wheaton Warrenville South. So, for our stat man extraordinaire, Mr. Nick Pinto, for the coach, John Cohn, for our producer-director, Andy Zielkowski, and our entire CN100 production team, I'm Perry Williams saying thank you so much for watching, and so long, everybody.